In the endless black sea of space, humanity finally met the Galactic Alliance. But the meeting didn't bring peace, it brought laughter. The aliens looked at human ships made of steel and fire, and they laughed. They called Earth a primitive world, a place of children playing with broken toys. From his command deck aboard the Odyssey, Captain Rice watched the alien broadcast repeat across every channel. Their voices were calm but cruel, filled with amusement. Humans still burn fuel to move their ships, one alien said. How old-fashioned. Another replied, soon they'll realize their place under us. Rice stayed silent. Around him, his crew clenched their fists, anger burning behind their eyes. They had trained for years for this mission, to prove that humanity deserved respect. But now their hearts were filled with something colder. Outside the window, the alien fleet shimmered like silver waves, their ships made of living metal. They looked untouchable. The humans looked small, fragile, outdated. But deep beneath the red sands of Mars, something ancient had just started to wake up. A secret project no alien knew about. A relic older than any empire. It wasn't built by humans, but it had waited for them. Rice opened a locked file on his screen. Blue light filled his eyes. A single name appeared, the Quantum Arc. He whispered quietly, "They think we're weak. Let them keep laughing. For now." Far across the stars, the alien commanders watched Earth's silence and took it as fear. They didn't know the humans had already pressed the first key, one that would soon change the galaxy forever. The silence was ending. Humanity's answer was coming. Long before the alien fleets arrived, Mars had already hidden a secret. Decades ago, miners from Earth discovered something impossible under its surface, a structure made of unknown metal, humming with soft blue light. No tool could break it, no scanner could read it. It was buried deep, silent, waiting. Scientists built a research base around it and called it Project Arc. Only a few people on Earth knew about it. The rest of the world believed it was just another mining operation. But the truth was far greater. The object wasn't natural, it was alive. When Captain Rice first visited the site, he stood before the giant structure. It pulsed like a heart, sending gentle waves of light across the red dust. Every time someone touched it, their minds filled with strange visions. Shadows of stars, voices speaking in a language no one understood. Over the years, the arc started to react more strongly. Its pulse grew faster, its light brighter. Scientists believed it was waiting for a signal, but no one knew what kind. Now, as alien warships surrounded Mars, that signal had come. Every sensor in the base began flashing red. The ground shook, and the arc released a deep vibration that echoed through the tunnels. Rice and his team ran to the command center. "Captain, it's waking up," said Dr. Elena, her voice trembling. Rice looked at the glowing core and whispered, "Then it's time." Outside, the aliens watched the planet with amusement. They didn't know what was happening beneath their feet. The Quantum Arc was no longer sleeping. Its light pierced the surface of Mars, reaching the stars, sending a message the galaxy would soon understand. Humanity was not primitive anymore. The alien fleet moved closer to Earth, their ships glowing like cold fire across the black sky. Every planet between Mars and Earth had gone silent. The human defense line was the last wall standing. Old ships, old engines, old weapons, but hearts full of defiance. Captain Rice stood on the bridge of the Odyssey. Around him, his crew worked quietly. No one spoke of fear. They all knew what was coming. Above them, hundreds of alien cruisers waited, their voices echoing through the communication channels. "Surrender your world, humans," the alien commander said, his tone almost kind. "Your struggle is meaningless," Rice smiled faintly. "Meaningless?" he replied. "Maybe to you, but to us every inch of this sky matters." At that moment, deep beneath Mars, the Quantum Arc began to hum. Its blue light reached out, wrapping itself around human ships like a ghostly wave. Energy readings went off the charts. The ships began to vibrate. "Captain, we're losing power," shouted the engineer. "No," Rice said calmly. "We're gaining something else." The alien commander watched in confusion as the human fleet suddenly vanished from radar. Their signals blinked out as if erased from existence. "What have they done?" he whispered. Then space itself began to twist. The stars bent and shimmered. A deep sound filled the void like the roar of a storm. Inside that storm, humanity had crossed into something new. a place beyond space and time. The quantum arc had taken them somewhere the aliens could not follow. Rice looked out the window of his ship. "We're not running," he said softly. "We're becoming. The next time the aliens saw humanity, the galaxy would never be the same." Inside the strange light of the quantum arc, everything felt different. Time stretched and folded like waves. Captain Rice floated in silence, his ship surrounded by endless glowing energy. His crew stared out the windows, eyes wide. Space was gone, replaced by something alive. The quantum arc pulsed again, and their systems lit up. Symbols appeared on every screen, patterns no human had ever seen before. Dr. Elena whispered, "It's communicating. It knows we're here." A voice, soft and deep, filled their minds. "You are children of creation, and you have suffered long enough." The light outside grew brighter until it became impossible to tell where the ship ended and the arc began. Metal melted into smooth silver. Engines twisted into new forms, alive and humming with power. The crew watched as their ship transformed before their eyes, becoming something beyond human technology. "Captain," the pilot whispered. "We're evolving." Rice said nothing. He felt it too. The ship's heartbeat, the energy flowing through his veins. Humanity was changing. Through the glowing mist, shapes appeared, figures of light, tall and calm. They were not human, but their presence felt ancient, protective. They looked at Rice and spoke again. The arc was waiting for those who remember their own strength. Then, with a final pulse, the light folded inward. The Odyssey and the entire human fleet reappeared in normal space, but they were not the same. Their ships shimmered with quantum energy, glowing like stars reborn. Alien sensors detected them instantly, but this time, the readings showed something impossible, power levels beyond any known scale. The primitive humans had become something new. The quantum fleet of humanity had arrived. When the human fleet reappeared, silence spread across the alien communication channels. The vast armada that once laughed now stared in disbelief. Human ships no longer looked like metal machines. They were radiant, glowing with streams of blue and silver light, moving with grace no engine could explain. The alien commander gave a trembling order. "Fire on them now!" Beams of plasma shot across space, but they curved away, bending like ribbons of water around the human ships. The weapons lost their power before even reaching the targets. The aliens shouted in confusion. "Impossible!" "Their shields, what are they?" Captain Rice stood tall on the bridge of the Odyssey. He raised his hand. Fire. A single pulse of light burst from the human fleet. It wasn't a missile or a beam, it was energy shaped like thought itself. It passed through the alien lines silently, but when it faded, dozens of ships were gone, vanished without a trace. The galaxy had never seen such power. Dr. Elena whispered, "Captain, they're running." Rice looked at the fleeing ships. "They mocked us for being human. Now they'll remember what humanity means." As the battle raged, alien leaders begged for communication. Some cried for peace. Others simply vanished into the stars. The mighty alliance that once ruled over 100 worlds now knelt before the blue light of Earth. But Rice gave no victory speech. He only watched the burning horizon of alien debris and said quietly, "This isn't revenge. It's justice." The quantum arc pulsed one last time, sending a wave across the battlefield that erased every trace of war, leaving only silence and stars. Humanity had risen from dust to legend. The universe would never call them primitive again. When the echoes of war faded, only the soft hum of the quantum arc remained. The stars shone quietly, reflecting on the new fleet that now drifted in peace. Humanity had survived, but everything had changed. Captain Reese stood by the observation window of the Odyssey. The once scarred ship now glowed like living light, its walls pulsing softly as if breathing. The crew was silent, each person lost in thought. They had won, but the cost of victory felt heavy. Dr. Elena stepped beside him. "Do you think they'll ever forgive us?" she asked softly. Rice looked at the stars. "Maybe not, but they'll never forget us." The quantum arc floated near Earth's orbit, its massive form half in reality, half in something greater. From every continent, people looked up at the night sky and saw it shining, a symbol of what humanity had become. News spread through the galaxy. The once mighty alien empires had fallen silent. Worlds that once laughed at Earth now sent messages of peace and fear. The age of human weakness was over. Rice closed his eyes and remembered the first message the Ark had given him. Those who remember their strength shall guide the stars. He opened a channel to Earth. Mission complete, he said quietly. Humanity stands. On Earth, people filled the streets watching the sky. Children pointed at the glowing Ark and smiled. The human race, once mocked and underestimated, had taken its first step into a new destiny.